All right. She'll be back. Good evening, everyone. I played musical chairs this evening. I will be your host for tonight's finance meeting and the regular meeting when we get to that. So, calling the finance meeting for November 17th to order. We're going to get right into new resolutions, starting with temporary resolution 9625 that's coming through water pollution control. That's Mr. Wing.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This resolution authorizes the SSD to enter into contracts with Verdantis to utilize their inspection engineering services for the water pollution and stormwater departments when they're working on infrastructure projects. I'd like to invite Stephen to give some more background on this, but I do believe this is an annual piece that we usually pass.
Thank you, Councilman. Good evening, everybody. Yes, as noted, this contract we signed is an annual contract. We've been doing it for years now with the engineering consultant firm Verdantis. They provide us, again, engineering services on small projects, and primarily inspection is what we typically, most of the contracts are used for, inspections. Hard to find good inspectors, and we have several with them, and have had good success with them. So, again, we utilize them for that purpose for the most part. Again, I don't know as much else to add, but I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody's not clear about anything.
Any questions? No. Mr. Wing?
Yep. Councilwoman Tiner will be my second, and we can go full 3 readings on this.
Okay. I had 2, so you want to do 3?
3 works fine for me. Sorry.
No. 2.
Okay.
So
2 works fine too.
I apologize.
No,
Sorry.
that's okay.
So at the Law Director Administration meeting on Wednesday, the mayor advised that President Porter wanted to shrink the number of meetings so that the December 15th meeting could be used for potentially swearing in the new members. And so they had asked me to truncate basically the number of readings so that there wouldn't have to be a full council, a full finance and council meeting prior to swearing in all of the new members. So I apologize. I made that too. Stephen did indicate 3 on his request, but I did that after speaking with the mayor and at President Porter's request. So,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay. So I'll move to suspend next meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Temporary resolution 9725 that's coming through Law Committee. Mrs. Kreitz.
Yes, thank you. This will allow the city to join a multi-district litigation against 3M, DuPont, and other defendants. The city was notified as a potential plaintiff in 2023, but because of testing and limited testing providers available, the city was just able to determine its qualification as a plaintiff in October of this year. The deadline to apply for settlement funds is January 1st of 2026, but because of the process involved, it's cumbersome, it takes time, and there's a lot of data that needs to be entered. We're going to ask for suspension because it can't be completed beyond the initial info page until council approves. I do want to note that the associated fees for plaintiff's counsel comes out of settlement funds, and therefore the city has no additional cost beyond the testing to determine if we qualify as plaintiffs. Law Director Hall, is there anything additional you'd like to add to that?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
And Mr. Bizjack will be my second.
Any questions from anyone? Seeing none, we'll move to temporary resolution 9825 through administrative services. Mr. Leuchtenberg.
Yes, this is just a new contract with Renaissance Counseling and Consultation to continue providing mental health counseling services to Lancaster employees. And this is a 3-year contract, and we'll be going for 2 readings.
Great, Mr. Bizjack, I have as your second. Anybody have any questions? Anything you'd like to add, Ms. Woody?
I mean, not necessarily. I think that Mr. Leuchtenberg summed that up nicely.
I thought I did too, but you were eyeballing. I was waiting for your hand because last time I missed your hand.
I'm just used to Mr. Leuchtenberg calling on me, so I was all ready to go.
I like this of you better because I missed your hand last time, and I thought she's going to raise her hand, and I'm going to be in trouble. So.
But I'm happy to answer any other questions.
No, it's well explained. Anybody else? No? All right, temporary resolution 9925, that's coming through economic development. Mrs. Hoop.
Yes, thank you. We have annexed 3 different areas, Ewing Woods, Victory Commons, and Fairfield Park. And so we need to add them to the housing survey to include them in the city CRA. So that's what this, and then if I could direct the rest to Law Director Hall regarding the suspension.
Yes, ma'am. So one of these properties, the Sheridan Drive property, which is Ewing Woods, will have both a CRA and a TIF on it. And because a CRA takes precedence over a TIF, we need to get the CRA put in place first. The TIF will come next meeting. So we want the CRA in place before the TIF happens because that CRA abatement needs to take precedence, if that makes sense. And if anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer those.
I see none. Mrs. Sue?
Mrs. Kreitz, and again, we're gonna suspend today.
Mrs. Kreitz is your second?
Second, yeah.
Okay. All right. Temporary Resolution 100-25 coming through Public Works, Ms. Teener.
Yes, I'm going to have Kurt come up and speak about this. This is regarding the pedestrian project for Memorial and Pearson. We need to get a grant in by the 30th of November. We just need to suspend tonight.
Good evening. This is a grant that we became aware of, and recently ODOT has encouraged us to apply for it. It's called the Transportation Alternative Program, the TAP grant. It's an 80-20 match for the Memorial Drive, Pierce Avenue sidewalk project that we received a Corpo grant to do the engineering. That's finished. Just recently received another grant to do the right-of-way acquisition that will start soon. And will be finished, we think, in about a year. And if we go after this grant and get this grant, then we'll be able to roll right into construction of those improvements, which is why I didn't want to wait until next November to submit it because the timing wouldn't have worked out as well. It's due on November 30th, so I need to get it approved at this meeting. So I appreciate.
And our match is 20%, correct?
20%. Yeah, and we'll get that. We have some of the multi-trail discretionary funding. We're going to look into that as a potential match. Hopefully there's enough there that we can bank it up. Any questions about the project or the grant?
Don't see any. Ms. Teener?
And Mr. Leuchtenberg will be my second.
Okay. Thank you, Kurt.
Thanks, Kurt.
All right, do we have any other new resolutions? Okay, so we'll talk about the budget a little bit here. All right, new ordinances. We just have one temporary ordinance, 7025, coming through economic development. Mrs. Sue?
Yes, thank you. I think Stephanie, okay, good. Stephanie's here. I didn't see her. Just quickly, there's a property on Broad Street that is doing PACE, P-A-C-E financing, and that requires the city to join the ESID, so.
So the 7025 is the new TIF for the residential
I
on
totally
Ewing
had
Woods,
the
but I
wrong
am
one.
going to talk about the
Okay.
ESID, so you
I
were
totally
on
had
the
the
right
wrong one.
track. Yeah, so this is just the residential portion of the TIF for the Sheridan property. So when we say residential, it's for the single-family homes. Remember how they call the they call that commercial, and we've already started that. Is that one totally done? Isn't that totally done? Okay, good. This is why I have my attorney here. But this is for the residential side. It's for the single-family homes, because, you know, it's broken up into 2 different types of TIFs. So it's for Sheridan.
Any questions? No?
And we're doing the 2 readings. Yeah, 2 readings.
2 readings, Wing's gonna be my second, or my, yeah, second.
All right. That feels like a blistering pace that we just set, so it's going to come to a screeching halt here pretty soon. But in the meantime, thank you. And we're going to move on to department updates. So anybody here with a department update?
So one thing that was in my email this last week is that there is a PACE project for the Wilson building just down the street on Broad. So a PACE project is making improvements, energy efficiency improvements. So in this case, roof, and windows and LED lighting. So PACE program does upfront financing for the owner of the property, and then they pay it back with a special assessment on their property taxes. Well, in order for the Wilson building owners to do a PACE project, the city of Lancaster has to be added to the ESID, Energy Special Improvement District. So you guys have heard of SIDs because of DDL's SID for downtown. This is an energy SID. It's, so the ESID is the program administrator, and it is a public entity governed by a board. And because they are the administrator of PACE, we just have to join that association. And once Lancaster is in the ESID, it actually opens the door for any PACE project that owners in Lancaster want to participate in. So it's actually a one-time action that has long-term positive effects. So just checking my notes. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So we don't have to pay a fee to join ESID. It's just something that we have to vote on. And then again, like I said, then we're in the ESID, and it opens up the door for any landowner or property owner to do PACE improvements on their property. A little wordy, I'm sorry. And I'm, if you want to ask any questions, I'm happy to answer them. So we'll see that next time.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Bosco? Seeing none, thank you for your update.
Good evening, members of council. I have three brief updates for the fire department tonight. The first, the auxiliary building construction is nearly complete. The building that's putting behind Engine House 3. Would note that during the construction process, we found that the water service and the gas service to the existing firehouse were also in need of repair. So while the construction was ongoing, we went ahead and replaced those. Also like to thank the gas department for all their help running the new gas line to the firehouse into our new building. Secondly, the medic that we acquired here recently is now in service, serving the citizens of Lancaster out of Engine House number 1. And finally, I'm proud to announce that as of this morning, the Lancaster Fire Department is fully staffed at our authorized force of 84 firefighters. I appreciate all the support and the patience of council and the city administration in helping us reach that milestone. Thank you.
Good evening. I just wanted to take a quick minute to thank everyone for your continued support for our CDBG programs. I'm going to read an appreciation email that was sent to the mayor a couple weeks ago, but I thought it was important to hear, some feedback on the good that our programs are doing. Hello, I'm writing to share the story of having our house improved through the city of Lancaster. My husband and I bought a house on Washington Avenue in 2002. It's an old house from the 1800s. Needless to say, there were numerous issues that we needed help with. We didn't make enough money to tackle everything, so we did what we could, such as putting plastic around the windows every winter. Even with plastic, we could see movement from the curtains and felt cold air coming in there, as well as our old doors. I heard about the community development through a neighborhood and signed up to get on the waiting list. When we received the phone call that they were ready to begin the process, we were thrilled. I took before and after pictures to show the progress. My husband retired a few years ago, so his income was reduced a lot. When the city of Lancaster sent a company this past summer, it happened at the perfect time. They were so professional and worked quickly and efficiently. We have new floors upstairs and the steps. We have siding now. We have new windows and 2 new doors. Our outside paint on the house was peeling bad, and my husband was no longer able to paint it again. Also, it was found that we had lead paint around the windows. All of that was safely removed, and they painted around the windows. They even replaced our old front porch, and it's so pretty. I know it does improve the look of our neighborhood, so it really benefits more people than us. I'm unsure if other low-income house owners even are aware of this wonderful program. They should know. This has been a huge blessing for us, and they are coming next week to gut our ancient bathroom and put a walk-in shower with a shower chair, new sink and toilet, as well as flooring. It's so appreciated by my husband and I. I wanted to let you know how incredibly important this assistance is for the citizens of Lancaster. I've lived in this community my entire life. I'm 62 and my husband Jack is 68. We're looking forward to a warmer house this winter. So I just wanted to give you a kind of a little update on how important this is for our community.
Thank you. Anyone else for department updates?
I never know whether I'm in the department or not.
You are.
General fund money, I'm going to go with yes.
I'm not in a department, I am an office, yes. Bob Wolfinger always thought I was a department head. So, I just came because I think you're voting on the budget tonight, and I'm part of your budget, and I feel obligated to come see you since you fund me. So I'm here, if you have any questions about what my budget is. And the fact that I do appreciate the support that you do give us in the court. And again, we try to do as much as we can with alternative sources to keep your costs down. I think out of our special projects fund this year, we will have spent $841,000, which is kind of strange for a court to generate that kind of money, but that pays off I think the bond. I'm looking at Jackie because she knows all this. The bond, the second, what I call the second mortgage, heating and cooling, and the electric bill. So also, we still have grants that are running. My Veterans Court grant doesn't expire until '27. That's over $900,000. Now we'll see where that goes, given the fact that certain things have kind of been frozen. My drug court gets over $750,000 over a 3-year period. It will expire September of next year, but our new grants writer is hard at work, and we do get money from the state OMOS for all veterans, drug and or mental health, and drug court. So we do try to alleviate some of the costs to the city so that you're not funding us at those levels. But if you have any questions, that's why I come. For 10 years, I feel obligated. You know, you fund me, you should have the right to take a shot at me if you want. So go ahead. But if you don't, I'm good. Thank you.
Anybody want to take a shot at Judge Fields
Go
before he
ahead,
sits
I'm
down?
Good.
Not really sure I advise
We
that,
actually
but
have no choice, we have to fund
I was gonna
it. We
say, I
don't
don't-
have any choice, we have to
That's
fund
what I
it.
tell defendants when
I
they're
mean,
mad
what
at
are
me.
we
Go
gonna
ahead
ask
and be
you? We
mad
have
at me.
no
I got
choice.
broad shoulders. I'm used to it. So.
all right.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any other department updates? All right, seeing none, I'm going to move into meeting prep for tonight's council meeting. We do have 2 public hearings that we'll do before reading of resolutions. That is on the short-term rental legislation we have and the Arbor Homes. That is that is Rainbow Drive. You fixed that. On Rainbow Drive, it's potential zoning map amendments. We'll have those 2. And then I wrote it down. I don't know that I spelled it correctly, but so just so everyone's on the same page. So we have the new starred version of the budget. We're not going to be voting on the budget tonight, so everybody has another 2 weeks to digest. So that means the 3rd reading of all of the pay ordinances, I'm going to request to have those tabled. So we're just going to table those. So then when we go to deal with the budget next meeting, we will take those off the table and vote on those as well. Just so everyone is aware and on the same page. Everybody, that makes sense to everyone? Great. And then that's all I have for the regular meeting, and then we're going to move to other discussion items. Do we have anything before we want to discuss the star version of the budget?
If you don't mind, maybe I can go ahead and give my remarks on the budget, and then if questions come up.
Yep.
So in front of you, you have the starred version of the 2026 city budget. Should note that it's a $229 million budget. Last year was $297 million. Most of that is enterprise departments, things that you'll see in the budget. So first of all, I want to thank Director Woody, department heads, Auditor Nettles, Anitra, Treasurer Stoughton, and all the council members who I've spoken to over the last couple months during the budgeting process. It's been really helpful. Council committees, thank you for reviewing your budgets with your department heads and asking questions and moving a lot of those things forward. A lot of that is incorporated in the budget you see. It should be noted that we've reviewed every line in the budget multiple times, and your changes are reflected in red or black, depending, mostly red, which means decreases. We've seen significant decreases in general fund budgeting, millions of dollars. Some things that impacted our budget, and you'll see wages. As you know, we have 5 bargaining units in the city, police, fire, Comtex, AFSCME, and police supervisors. Each one of those unions negotiated with the city and received 3-year contracts that started. This will be next year will be the final year. So we'll be negotiating with all 5 unions next year for their salary and benefits. Police, fire, Comtex received a 5% pay increase for 2026. AFSCME received a 4% pay increase for 2026. These are contracts that were agreed upon 3 years ago. Management non-union is set by administration, and we set that for 2026 at 2.5%. We talked about 26 versus 27 pays. What does that mean to the city? What it means is $1.7 million in the 2026 budget. So when you hear about that, it is not insignificant to have a 27th pay. All union members are hourly employees. They get paid for every hour they work, so they don't work for free in the 27th pay. It should be noted, elected officials are different than that. We have a set salary for elected officials. It doesn't matter if it's 27 pays or 26 pays, it's the same annual salary for elected officials. So that's just something for your memory and to understand it's a little different for hourly employees. We have a 3% increase in health insurance costs, which is well below what the market is seeing in Central Ohio. Our enterprise funds and our department heads were tasked with balancing their budget so that they have revenue to support their expenses, and I will say that all of them were able to do so. Last year, in the general fund, we utilized additional funding in the 2046 account, which is our .15 fire levy, our 2047 account, which is our first .45 police and fire levy, and our 2051 account, which is our .45, the most recent safety levy that was passed. That allowed us to save money in the general fund. But once you take that carryover and you spend it, it's like a savings account, it's gone. So that carryover in all 3 of those funds is reduced back to a level sufficient for the auditor to have carryover for the first quarter of 2026, but not a substantial savings account for the future. So we balanced our police and fire budget from the general fund, and that's the original 0.1 or 1% that was council imposed income taxes. So even that carryover is reduced by the spending that we're doing in the general fund. And you will see that reflected in the budget. So some other things that we need to think about as we go forward. We have taken steps on the administration side to limit purchase of vehicles, replacing general fund positions, and enterprise positions that we may be able to avoid replacing because we have someone else that can do the work. We've done that, as you've seen, in utilities and some of the other departments. We've been able to do some reorganization and elimination of some positions that were duplicating services, and/or we could provide better service in planning and zoning versus a third supervisor in utilities. So you saw the downsizing there. We will continue to do those things going forward. As 26 unfolds, we may need to come to council. This is a zero-based budget. If you don't know what that means, old city budgeting was done when I first got on, where you just threw 10% or 5% on to what you did last year, and you continue to build that forever. This budget's based on what it cost and how much we have, and it's budgeted to that dollar amount. So it's if we have 84 firefighters, for instance, we know what they cost. It's zero-based. We're not throwing 10% on above that. We're budgeting for our staffing and for our needs. If we need a $400,000 medic, it would be budgeted for $400,000, not $430,000, et cetera, et cetera. So it is, to the best of our ability, it's zero-based budgeting. What that means, though, is if something comes up where we need something in addition that's not in this budget, because we don't have a wish list item in the budget, we might have to come back to council and ask for funding. But we're only going to do that, and this is my assurance to you, is if we know that we need it and can support it and the funding is available. A couple of things should be on your radar. It should be on everyone's radar in the state. The Ohio House has a couple of bills pending in front of them that can impact and probably will impact the city of Lancaster in a very negative way. House Bill 503, the Ways and Means Committee, is looking at how communities provide commuter tax credit for people who pay income tax in multiple cities. They work in Columbus, they live in Lancaster. They're looking at reconsidering how that is done on the credit side. Right now, we provide a full 1% credit to people who work outside the city but live here. That is again, council imposed many years ago 1% income tax on the citizens. It was not voted upon. It was voted on by council only, but not by the citizens. Every other income tax that we currently have in place, the three I mentioned earlier, the 0.15, the 2.45, were all voted on by our taxpayers to provide services that we provide to the community, whatever that service may be, including our 3 mil property tax levy was voted on by the community to provide better streets and alleys and curbing and sidewalk, et cetera. The state house has decided to get into some of those things that may dramatically impact us. If House Bill 503 would pass and it would take away that 1% credit, well, actually, what it would is give full credit for the full income tax. So instead of having a 1% credit, someone might have a 2.3% credit. That means they pay zero to the city they live in. That's crazy. But they pay everything to whatever Columbus wants, 2.5% up there, I believe. I have authored an opposition letter and sent it to the state in hopes that it might be considered as opponent testimony. I know other communities have done that, along with the Ohio Municipal League and the Ohio Mayor's Alliance. And I've been told that they have taken notice of the opponent testimony, and it has slowed down. That doesn't mean it's stopped. It's slowed down. Let's hope it's stopped. The state should worry about the state, and Lancaster can worry about Lancaster, but that's, we'll have to fight that battle, and currently we're fighting that battle. The other thing, currently police officers, we pay 19.5% into the Ohio Police and Fire pension for police officers. We pay 24%, this is of their salaries, for firefighters. That's different because it's been historically different going back 30 years. There is a movement to make it even at 24%. Of course, they're not going to bring it down to 19.5% for everybody. They're going to make it 24% for everybody. For us, that's $400,000. That's equal to about 3 police officers' salary and benefits. I anticipate that's going to pass, and it will impact every community in the state of Ohio. And there's other things. You certainly know about the citizen referendum on property tax abolishment. Certainly, property tax reform, I think, is a necessary thing. I think there needs to be some consideration for homesteading, et cetera, et cetera. But the real dollar impact for us, if House Bill 503 would pass and a full credit was provided for people working outside the city, and property tax abolition would happen, and throw in the police and fire pension, we're talking probably $9 million from the general fund. We can't absorb $9 million loss in general fund. So this should be on your radar. If you want to send a letter to the state and tell them how you feel about some of these things, please feel free to do so. But these things are things that we can't ignore. We have to be aware of. They have to be on our radar. We have to be thinking about them. We have to think about how they're going to impact us and our community going forward. Reminder, our community voted for services they wanted. 3 years ago, we voted to add additional police and firefighters and additional medic and move our safety forces forward. We voted for a 3 mil levy to repair our streets and keep things moving forward. The state, at least on a couple of these things, the state house has decided they want to weigh in on it. And certainly our citizens in our state have a right to weigh in on things also. So we're going to probably be impacted significantly at some point, and then we'll have to respond at some point. Those things are all considered in your budget that you have in front of you. That's why you've seen reductions in areas that you might think, why did we do that? I'm preparing us for the future. And I think everybody I've spoken to, auditor, treasurer, council people, we've talked about these things. And I think we all need to be really fully aware of how the State House can impact Lancaster, Ohio. So there's my budget discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions on the starred version that we have in front of us? Ms. Teener?
I do have a question. So they have 84 firefighters. Are we still going to have 79 police officers? Because that was the...
We have 84 firefighters because we have 84 firefighters today. We're not going to be hiring any more additional general fund positions in police and or fire until we can find out how our finances are going to look going forward. I think it's unwise to continue to add people to the city payroll in 2026 without a full understanding of the impact.
Okay, well, the thing is, I knew that with court, we have to take 2 officers and put them over at the courthouse. So that's going to take 2 off the street right there.
Yeah, they cost us about $142,000 apiece. So
Well, we need to consider, I don't know, I won't be on, but when they do the next union thing, I mean, all the fire departments have 2 men medics that even Columbus does, and we have 3. So that might be something that needs to be considered.
We will be looking at all those things. During the budgeting process, we were able to see things that really became apparent over the last several weeks. Those of you recall when we passed the .45, the administration at the time sat and discussed how many firefighters it should be added, how many police officers should be added, and they provided these numbers to us, 84, 79. We inherited those numbers. However, inherited or not, it is not wise to outpace your funding. And I'm seriously concerned about overspending to the point where 5 years from now, where are we at? I'm not going to be seeking, during my time as mayor, additional income taxes. I won't be asking for them. We're going to live within our means, and we're going to make it work. I feel the same about rate increases. We just did rate increases. We're not going to be increasing rates again to add people. We are going to maintain our services. We're going to do what we promised to do, but we're not going to outspend our revenue. And I think, knowing everybody here, I think you would agree with me. These are tough conversations, not pleasant conversations, but we have to have them. We have to be realistic about what the state's throwing at us and what our job is here. And we've been given a dollar amount of income that we have to live within our means. So it will be some belt tightening.
Thank you. Any other questions? So again, we'll have the 2 weeks in between this meeting and the next for you guys to come up with any questions. This will stay on the table. We'll replace it. Well, it'll come off the table next meeting. We'll replace it with this version as long as there aren't any other changes. And then same with the pay ordinances. We'll look to vote on those next meeting. Okay. Any other topics for discussion? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. And we are adjourned at 6:35. The regular council meeting will start at 6:45.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Hi, I'm Corey Clark with Fairfield County Job and Family Services. Our mission is to protect children and elderly, encourage family stability, and promote self-reliance for a stronger community. We're honored to be selected by the Buckeye Family's Buckeye Cares program. That means Buckeye will make a donation with each vehicle sold this month. From all of us at Fairfield County Job and Family Services, thanks, Buckeye, for your ongoing support for local families.
I appreciate everyone staying up. We're throwing a kink in this. So we have a new council member that's joining us this evening, and we need to swear him in before we start this meeting.
I think you can let them all sit down.
Yeah, please feel free to sit, unless, I mean, we definitely want to honor
Can we
him.
sit down too?
We were putting the pressure on right off the rip. The whole room was standing.
Usually somebody holds the Bible. Yeah. So that I have a hand free and can read, and he has a hand free and can swear.
Front and center.
Stand on this side, you stand right there, and you can stand right here so everybody can see you. You want to place your left hand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I, John Carr Jr., do solemnly swear
I, John Carr Jr., do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the ordinances of the City of Lancaster, Ohio,
and the ordinance of the City of Lancaster, Ohio,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
honestly, and impartially
honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
of City Council
of City Council
as an at-large representative
as an at-large representative
for the City of Lancaster, Ohio,
for the City of Lancaster, Ohio,
during the term which runs
during the term which runs
January 1st, 2024
January 1st, 2024
through December 31st, 2025.
through December 31st, 2025.
Awesome, congratulations. So you have video and then pictures.
All right, before we start the meeting officially with the Pledge of Allegiance, so President Porter usually gives the same little, I don't have a prayer, but, yes and no. Should I sit down? I don't know. I was making you nervous? It's the holiday season, so I've talked about it before. I bring it up all the time wherever I'm talking to someone, but the art of neighboring, right? So there's multiple principles. I won't go all over all of them, but the practice reciprocal hospitality. So be nice to your neighbor. Pay attention to your neighbor. Help your neighbor. Maybe you need some help and your neighbor's willing to help you. I don't want to make this political, but we can reach out and touch you faster than anybody else can. Doesn't matter, the decisions that we make here, the decisions that you make at home, whether you put up a really weird fence because you don't like the neighbor's dog or whatever the case may be. Just it's that time of year to give thanks and be thankful to what we have and maybe help someone that's not as fortunate. So that's where I'm going to jump off my soapbox, except to say, please spay and neuter your pets. All right, I'm gonna call this meeting to order. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes.
Here.
Mr. Piszczek.
Here.
Mr. Carr.
Here.
Mrs. Kreitz.
Here.
Mrs. Hoop.
Here.
Mr. Leuchtenberg.
Here.
Mr. Schoonover.
Here.
Mr. Solly.
Here.
Ms. Teener.
Here.
And Mr. Wing.
Here.
Can I get a motion to excuse President Porter, please?
I make a motion excuse President Porter.
Second.
Mr. Porter is excused. Reading and disposal of the journal.
I have regular meeting minutes dated November 3rd, 2025.
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion to accept the reading and disposing of the journal.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to dispose of the journal. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do we have any reports of city officials?
I do have 4. I have email dated November 4th, 2025 for zoning verification. Letter request submitted by the city planner, Chaslin Carter. Email dated November 5th, 2025 regarding census contract for gas smart meter initiative, permanent ordinance 54-25, submitted by Law Director Stephanie Hall. Email dated November 12th, 2025 regarding October 2025 income tax collection report, submitted by Tax Commissioner Amy Hamilton. Email dated November 13th, 2025 regarding City Hall restoration window replacement, submitted by Service Safety Director Carrie Woody.
Mr. President, I make a motion to accept the reports of city officials.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept and file the reports of city officials. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do we have any communications?
I do. I have 4 of them. I have email dated November 5th, 2025 regarding public hearing on parcel 053-141-62500, submitted by Jeff and Cheryl Jones, homeowners. Mail dated November 13th, 2025 regarding liquor license request submitted by Department of Commerce, Division of Liquor Control. Series of emails dated November 4th through the 17th, 2025 regarding public records requests submitted by Grant Potts, research specialist. And finally, an email dated November 17th, 2025 regarding rezoning Arbor Homes, submitted by Jimmy and Sarah Bird, homeowners.
Mr. President, I make a motion to accept communications.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept and file the communications. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do we have any special presentations or awards?
I have none this evening.
Any petitions or memorials?
No petition or memorials.
All right, now's the time we set aside for voters and taxpayers to address council. Are there any citizens who'd like to speak directly to council regarding any subject tonight other than the 2 public hearings we will open up in a minute? Mr. James.
Thank you. Good evening, esteemed members of council and city officials. My name is Tom James. I reside at the 352 Mound Street here in our great city. I'd like to start tonight by saying on October 1st of this year, I had the privilege of attending the grand opening of our new state-of-the-art water treatment facility on Memorial Drive and 6th Avenue. To meet the growing demand for water and the need to replace an aging treatment facility, this facility was designed in a very short period of time and was completed on schedule. I want to personally thank members of this legislative body, city administration, and many of the tireless efforts of our engineering and water department staff for making this happen. Without minimizing the efforts of so many who helped complete this project, I'd like to recognize the efforts of 2 persons who lived with this project from day one. Denise Cruz and Stephen Wellstead not only were key to helping complete this project, but they did so while still handling all of their other job duties. Their contribution was and is indeed remarkable. Some of you realize what was just accomplished here with bringing this project to a successful conclusion, but many of you do not realize that this was accomplished with very low interest rates because you don't add this kind of important addition to our infrastructure with cash on hand. You do it with good financial standing of our city, and over the years has been carefully and judiciously managed. Due to the fact that the planning and initial design of this treatment facility was completed on an accelerated schedule, I'm not at all surprised that some changes were required during the construction phase, which obviously resulted in additional costs. In the final analysis, the investment we've made in this capital project is truly a bargain. To construct this same facility in 5 years or even 1 year from now, in my opinion, will be significantly more expensive. We now have the capacity to respond to the growth of our city very far into the future. Now, aside from some of the comments about the new water treatment plant, I'd like to address some of the current and future members of our city council. Soon, many of you will be leaving your positions. Your expertise and experience and dedication will certainly be missed. Your dedicated service is certainly admirable. To the new members soon to join this council, my hope, prayer, and my expectation as a concerned citizen that you accept this responsibility without preconceived notions, hidden agendas, and that you do your homework before you're sworn in. If you have not already done so, spend time with our city treasurer, our mayor, and some of these department heads to gain a working knowledge of the budget process and appreciation for what it takes for a city of our size to effectively function. The budget is a whole lot more than just line items on a spreadsheet, because unless you have personally been tasked with developing a detailed budget in your work life, then you have no appreciation for the massive effort that goes through into forecasting what your future and potential expenses revenues will be. Once council approves that budget, that department head is now accountable for that entire
Mr.
budget.
James.
I am certainly been proud
Mr.
to
James.
have been a former member of this legislative body and a member of the standing committee that helped launch the water treatment plant project. I'm also grateful for having had the opportunity to work with so many competent and caring people within the ranks of our city and with many of you on this council.
Mr.
Everyone
James.
that I had the pleasure.
Thank you.
I'm almost
Your 3
done.
minutes are up, man.
I'm good.
I gave you more than that. Sorry.
You'll just have to read the rest of the paper. Okay.
Yeah, appreciate it, though. Thank you. Anybody else want to address? I forgot to mention the 3-minute part, but I knew you already knew that, so, all right. Anybody else want to address council? All right, again, thank you, Mr. James. Okay, reports of standing committees, please.
I have 6 of them. I have Law Committee agenda, meeting agenda, dated November 4, 2025, submitted by Mrs. Kreitz. Economic Development Committee meeting minutes dated November 4th, 2025, submitted by Mrs. Hoop. Public Works Committee agenda dated November 13, 2025, submitted by Ms. Teener. Public Works Committee meeting minutes dated November 13, 2025, submitted by Ms. Teener. Water Pollution Committee meeting agenda dated November 14, 2025, submitted by Mr. Wing. And finally, Finance Committee meeting agenda dated November 17, 2025, submitted by Mr. Schoonover.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the reports of standing committees.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the reports of standing committees. Yep. What just happened? All of those in favor signify by saying, well, I was moving on to the next one. Signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries what? Yeah, it's like the staples all backwards. All right, I'm going back to the first page. Please hold. Okay. Your reports of special committees.
There are no reports this evening.
Great, couldn't even help me stall. All right. Moving on. Public hearings, we have 2 of those this evening. The first one on short-term rentals. Instructions for public hearings, since I've skipped half of the previous instructions where Mr. James didn't know his 3 minutes timing. Same 3-minute rule applies, so we're going to ask for proponents of the legislation, and then we'll give time to opponents. In order to speak the second round of proponents, if you want to rebut any rebuttal, you're going to have to speak in the first round. So any proponents here to speak on the short-term rental legislation, now is the time to do that. Seeing none, I'll ask for opponents to the changes to Chapter 1131 in the short-term rental legislation in front of City Council. Seeing none, that means we have a bunch of people here for the second one. Okay. All right, so we're going to move on from the first public hearing. Great, we're going to close that public hearing on short-term rentals to make it official. Okay. Moving on, we're going to open the public hearing on the Arbor Homes Rainbow Drive zoning map change. Is there any preamble for that I need to, you want to introduce that?
Yeah, I'll just say briefly, a couple folks asked in the intermission there. So this property was rezoned a while back. I apologize, I can't remember when, but it's been a while, and it was put in as a PUD, which is a planned unit development, and that's an overlay on the zoning, and there was no underlying zoning established. And so the zoning map amendment that's before you tonight is to establish that underlying zoning, and it's for RMD, which is residential medium density, sorry. And so that's just to establish the size of lots, and then all of the setbacks and other things that go with building on that parcel. I'm sorry, it did go before Planning Commission, and Planning Commission did approve RMD as the underlying zoning for that property for Arbor Homes to build on.
Was it currently zoned?
It doesn't have zoning, that's the point. It has the PUD overlay, but it doesn't have the underlying zoning. Yeah, and that's what this establishes.
Okay. Okay, so same rules as the previous. We're going to ask for proponents of this legislation to come up first. If there are any proponents to the zoning map amendment, please come forward. And there's a clipboard there for you to sign in, but you're gonna state your name and address for the record, and then you have 3 minutes to make your statements.
Hey, good evening. My name is Drew Miller. My address is 6797 North High Street, Worthington, Ohio. I'm with Arbor Homes. I am the land entitlement and zoning manager. We work in an office in Worthington. There's about 15 or 20 of us in that Columbus office, and we established that office about 4 years ago. Arbor Homes is a very experienced home builder. We've been around since 1994. We started in Indianapolis. Since then, we've built about 22,000 homes in Indianapolis, and a little bit in Louisville, the Cincinnati-Dayton area, and then here in Central Ohio. We're really excited about the potential to bring our houses to Lancaster. We feel like this is an appropriate location. I do have my engineer here tonight, although this is just a zoning hearing, so I wasn't going to get too much into that, but we're happy to answer any questions everyone might have. We do have a conceptual plan that we put together, which we did share at the Planning Commission. I'm not sure if you all have seen that yet, given this is just the zoning, I'm not sure, but we have started some preliminary engineering on the site, and we've also completed a traffic impact study. We are waiting on comments back from the city for the traffic impact study, but we will be adhering to any recommendations they make, which we do anticipate would be a deceleration lane and a left turn lane off of Thornville Road. So with that being said, we did hear quite a bit of comments at the Planning Commission meeting regarding what the site, what the neighborhood is going to look and feel like. And so, like I said, we do have that concept plan. We're putting together a screening exhibit to share with folks if the zoning is approved and we move forward to Planning Commission. We'd love to share some of those plans with you all. But you know, we are sensitive to the fact that there is adjacent neighbors that have been living there for quite a while. We have already built into our concept plan a buffering space between the two neighborhoods, and we plan on putting in some screening, whether that's physical or landscaping. We're open to either of those, but like I said, we are willing to discuss those, and if the zoning is approved and this moves forward, we're happy to talk about what that might look like. So that's all I really have, but if you got any questions for us, I'm happy to answer.
Does council have any questions? Since he is up here, we will yield time to you guys for any questions. No? All right, thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
Are there any other proponents of the project? This is your time to speak. And keep in mind, if you are a proponent, don't speak at this time, you will not be able to speak later. Seeing none, we'll move on to opponents of this proposed zoning map change. So any opponents opposed to the change, you're going to want to approach the podium. You're going to sign in on the clipboard with your name and address, state the same for the record,
about high
and then you'll have 3 minutes to address council.
I have some questions too, so it might take a little bit more than 3 minutes.
You'll have 3 minutes to address council, and then if you have questions,
Now, wait a minute, no.
that's something that we don't do during the public hearing.
I cannot ask a question?
You can ask your questions, they're not going to be answered at this time, but we will make sure that you get questions answered from whether it's us or the
First of all, I want to
administration or the
compliment you
developer.
for, if my 3 minutes are going now.
No, I haven't started. I was trying to explain to you. I'm as fair as I can be.
Okay.
Right?
I want to thank you. You have been very diligent about keeping us up informed of when these meetings are. I compliment you for that. I'd like to ask a question. What is the purpose of zoning? What is the purpose of zoning? I will get no answer. To me, the purpose of zoning is to protect your community, to protect your neighborhoods, to protect an atomic energy plant from showing up in your backyard, or to protect a slum from ending up in your backyard. Zoning is to help you. This, I don't know if, in fact, can I hand this out?
Yeah, you can pass it around.
I know you've seen it. This is what's being proposed. There's 19 families around this field, 19. You're putting in 190 in less than 1/5 of a square mile. You're going to go from 19 families to 219 families. That's extreme. That's not adding to my neighborhood. That's invading my neighborhood. Everyone I showed this map to, their first reaction is, oh my gosh. One question to the developer. Where's the green space? Every development I see in Columbus, I work with schools, and I'm in all the neighborhoods up and down Southeast Ohio and Columbus. I'm into the elementary schools, and I see the neighborhoods. And this map has nothing but straight streets, and every neighborhood I've seen built in the last 50 years has curved streets to help the traffic. Where are the kids going to play? There's nothing in that has any space for the kids to do anything except play in the street. You developed a straight dragway. Now that map is extreme. And let's consider this. You all play football or no football? The property sizes on this map. And by the way, there's some discrepancies. I asked for a definition of this PCU, and they were nice enough and gave me a good definition. And it's to promote the redevelopment of one-unit residential dwellings on moderate-sized lots. Well, first of all, there's no such thing as a small lot. Moderate is small. And here's how small this lot is. Your yard is from the goal line to the 13-yard line, to the middle of the field. I was a marching band director. I know my dimensions. So your goal, your front yard will be from the goal line to the 13 if you do a 40-foot lot, which is what their plan says in the map. If you look at the map, it says that these lots are 40,000 square feet, 40-foot frontage.
Sir.
Pardon me?
I didn't catch your name. Did you state your name at the beginning?
Yes, my name is Robert Lust.
And Mr. Lust, your 3 minutes is up. And I know that you have plenty of other questions, comments, and concerns, and we'll be happy to address those at another time. But as the public hearing goes, your 3 minutes are up. And then once we go back to proponents and opponents, then you'll have the ability to come up and speak for another 3 minutes.
I'd like to read one definition that you gave me. This is your definition.
It's not my definition, but this is
the
mine,
definition
sir.
the planning city can give.
All right,
I'm
but
going to give this definition.
This is my meeting, so just you can give the definition in your
To
next
allow.
3 minutes after opponents
To allow
are
for
allowed
minimum
at the
non-residential uses.
Sir,
And to allow for minimal non-residential uses such as parks and schools that are compatible with and maintain the overall residential character in the area. And
are any
that's not-
other opponents that want to speak? Have any other opponents, ma'am? Again, you just need to sign on the clipboard, state your name and address for the record, and then you have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening. My name is Linda McCormick. My address is 2035 Lancaster Thornville Road, which is right on the corner of Rainbow and 188. I'm very concerned because in the 33 years we've lived there, there have been several accidents at that T intersection. To add an additional 170 homes, I believe, to 200 to that intersection is, I don't think it's safe. With the addition of all the, and I know they said they did a traffic study, that will be interesting to see, because recently when the city school system moved their bus garage up on Coon Path Road, that increased the traffic in that area tremendously. So, and then we do have 2 schools right down the road. So traffic concern is one of my biggest concerns. The other concern is, I mean no disrespect, cramming 170 homes into that area. I did have a couple questions which maybe they could be answered later, but I would like to know the process of this whole zoning thing. Like if it gets approved tonight, then what would be the next steps to move forward, and maybe an approximate time frame for that? The other question I had was, if this is going to be zoned medium density, I think that's right, for 40-foot wide lots, what is the next step up so that if this is going to happen, if there's going to be a development back there, what would be the next step up so that it's not so crowded? And maybe that could be looked at. I mean, I understand the city wants to grow. It's a great location. Again, we've lived there for 33 years and we've loved it. But what would be the next step up? If anyone has that answer now, I'd love to hear it. If not, maybe they could get back with me. But again, I wish to express my opposition to this.
Thank you very much. Do you have any other opponents that wish to speak? Ma'am, if you'd like, you could give your 3 minutes, and then you can just state your name, and then you can sign in if you haven't already.
Okay. My name is Pam Harris. My address is not Lancaster Thornville Road. It was years ago. Mine is 1863 Northshire Drive. I was not going to actually speak. I came on behalf of my parents. If it tells you anything, my parents are Linda's neighbors, so their house backs up to the field. They built it when I was 6 months old. I am 57, so that tells you how long they have resided there. To be completely honest, I did not go to the first meeting. They forgot to tell me that they got the letter. So I am at this meeting to represent them. My biggest concern, I think, along with Linda, and the traffic around that area, because there are a lot of accidents, and when you sit on their front porch, the traffic coming down 188 is at a high rate of speed. And you add way more cars to Rainbow and 188, it's just gonna make it worse. My biggest fear, I think, because my mother is in her 90s and my dad is almost 90, is any kind of crime that will bring out there for them. I know that they get nervous just at their age being out there, and then you're going to build all these homes with a bunch of other people, and I'm not sure what caliber of people that will bring in. So that's my 2 cents. That's why I'm opposed to it, just mainly on behalf of my parents.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have any additional opponents that would like to speak? All right, seeing none, we're gonna swing back around. This is the opportunity for proponents, which was the developer, to come up and speak for an additional 3 minutes. Hopefully, you have the gist of what everyone's concerned about and might be able to answer some questions.
Yeah, thank you. Is this on? Oh. So, yeah, those are a lot of the same comments that we heard at Planning Commission, and they're comments that we take very seriously as a home builder. They're not uncommon to any city where we'd be building. So that is a concept plan at this point. The way that Arbor Homes operates is we try to be open and transparent as possible. And so we're happy to, take these comments back and do what we can with this plan. As far as the density, open space, lot sizes go, yes, it does feel tight. It definitely looks tight when you look at a concept plan like that. We're very proud to help first-time home buyers and help people attain homes. That's really important to Arbor, especially just in the climate here. Recently, home prices are just skyrocketing. And so the best way to achieve a more attainable home is to get them a little bit denser and to get more lots, because that offsets a lot of the hard costs that we have as a developer when we're, creating this neighborhood. As far as traffic goes, I did mention that we do have a traffic impact study. We're waiting comments back from the city. We do anticipate, that we will be able to mitigate any additional traffic that we're putting onto the roads. There's going to be 2 access points for this neighborhood, both off Rainbow Drive and Lancaster Thornville Road. And like I'd mentioned, right now we do think that there will be a de-acceleration lane added and a left turn lane added. So we feel strongly that we'll be able to mitigate any traffic concerns. But at the end of the day, it does, depend on the city. And if they tell us that absolutely there's no way you can do this because it's going to be a traffic issue, then, that's something we're willing to understand and walk away from. But we do leave it, to the engineers and the professionals to tell us what needs to be done so that the roads can accommodate this many houses. Like I said, I am sensitive to the fact that a lot of homeowners have lived in this area for quite a long time. It's not our goal to put, neighbors backed up directly to your property. We're very interested in putting in, screening, whether that's landscaping, mounding, if we have the space for it, or, even a privacy fence along that entire side, or where anybody is. But, those are certainly things that don't affect the zoning. Those are things we need to discuss as we move to the next stage in the process. So, yeah, like I said, I'm happy to, continue to work on this concept plan. We'd submit it to the city and change some things on that concept plan based on what we've heard at Planning Commission, what we've heard tonight. That is, if you all approve the zoning, we can move forward with, making some of those changes. But we do feel that this is an appropriate area. It's already located in the city. And, if you look at the neighboring zoning districts, this is consistent with the zoning that surrounds this property.
All right, thank you. Your 3 minutes are up. Do you stay there for 1 second? Any council members have any questions? Ms. Teener.
So you talked about the screening and that. Have you ever done anything in a project you said you were going to do and then you guys didn't do it after you said you were going to?
No, ma'am. We're very proud of the work we do, and I'm a man of my word. And, I can put that on the record that, however we move forward with a concept plan, we're already looking at ways that we can screen and provide some more privacy for the existing homeowners. It's definitely something we're interested in doing. We don't, we want to be good neighbors, to everybody. And kind of in the spirit of the opening statement, we want to be good neighbors too. We want to, provide a good neighborhood that people are going to be proud to live in.
Well, I understand these individuals' concerns, and there is a lot of traffic on 188. There is. And when I was told about this, actually, it was probably about a month or so ago, and somebody called me from Rainbow Drive, and I'm thinking, why are they upset about Sheridan Drive? And here was Rainbow Drive, so I didn't even know about this. That's another problem I have. I don't remember knowing about this. So I'm kind of concerned about, I've seen the map, I'm kind of concerned about the retention ponds. I'm just kind of concerned about, it is a lot. That's a lot of houses in that spot for residences. And I just don't know how you're going to screen that from the people. I just don't.
Yeah, so, we have ways of doing it. We do screening and landscape screening all the time in our neighborhoods. We need to understand if the zoning is appropriate. If you all feel like houses are an appropriate use on this property, that's going to allow us to spend some more money to start getting into more plans that we can share with you all for feedback. So, I'm hoping that's something that we can do so we can get that concrete feedback.
Okay.
Mr. Luchtenberg.
So 40-foot wide lot with a 5-foot setback on both sides leaves a 30-foot wide house.
That's correct.
2 cars or 1 car?
2-car garage.
So that leaves about 8 foot for the rest of the frontage of the house, which will not meet our zoning code. Was that raised in Planning Commission?
No, we didn't get too much into those details since this is just a matter of zoning at this point.
Because your garage door can't be more than a certain percentage of the frontage of the home.
Okay. Yeah, we
Per
have-
our zoning code. So you may need to look at widening your lots to 50 foot.
Okay.
I think, just to make it work with our zoning, or you're going to have to get a variance.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely look into that.
All right, so any other question? And just as a reminder, and I'll get to you in just a sec.
Okay.
So as a reminder, the public hearing is for the zoning change as far as what the lots look like, the size, the density, all of that. Your other questions, that is not relevant per se to the amendment of the zoning map, right? Law Director Hall?
So the residential medium density, like I said before, does set what the lot width and the setbacks and all of that are. So by making this residential medium density, you are authorizing the minimums that are in the code, that are in the Lancaster codified ordinance.
Right, but we're
Now,
not
again,
approving.
You're not approving that. No,
that.
absolutely not.
That's the point I was
No.
trying to make. We're not approving
No.
this at all.
No, and even if you do approve the zoning, it's going to go back to Planning Commission because they're going to have to come up with like he said, some kind of concrete plan and concrete design that the Planning Commission can look at and sign off on.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Hales?
You stole my thunder. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry.
We're good.
Sorry about that. Any other questions from council? Ms. Hoop?
This may be a silly question, but the landowners, do they, and this might be for Stephanie Hall, do they approve of these changes, or is it the developer that is allowed to request them?
I'm assuming you have a contract with the landowner?
Yes, we are under
You have a
contract to
okay.
purchase the property. The property owner did sign our applications for the rezone.
Okay, so then that allows you to
Yep.
request it. Okay, that's all.
Okay. Any other questions?
I've got one.
Yes,
I'm
Sir Sullivan.
curious how this property is currently not zoned. Was this just missed previously with the last project that somebody looked at doing? So then this is really a cleanup
Yes, essentially.
of zoning more
Yeah.
than saying, hey, we're going to approve any one
Yeah, this has
particular
been in the
design.
city for quite some time. I apologize, I can't remember. Do you guys remember from planning? Yeah, I was gonna say like 30 years plus.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I mean, it was necessary to do something here because we're cleaning it up.
Yes, technically.
Okay, or the zoning rather.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're back to opponent testimony. Whoever spoke the first round has the ability to come up and speak again for another 3 minutes. So Mr. Lust, if you want to come up and start where you left off, you can have another 3 minutes to maybe throw some additional questions out there.
Yes. The point I was trying to make was, I'm going by your definition. When the first came up and they said this is going to go to a, whatever, the new zoning thing it was, we looked it up. And when I came into the first planning commission, I read that definition and I was told, oh, that's not the definition. We have our own definition. So that's what I'm working off, is your definition of what this is. And first thing is, your definition has some discrepancies with theirs. They're saying 4,000 square lots. Your definition says minimum lot size 5,000. And minimum footage 50. Yes, so what's on that drawing doesn't even match what your zoning is. Now, what I find really objectionable, and I don't know if I made the point the first time, there's 19 properties around this field, which is 0.18 of a square mile. I measured it. It's 0.18 of a square mile. We're going from 19 families to 209. There's 190 properties on that drawing. Not only that, please consider this, the traffic is a very big issue. There's two other fields in that area also being developed. One's already a done deal, I understand. The one just north of Shortstop and Tiki Lane, going up toward Thomas Ewing, that field in there is all being developed with several hundred homes, another 300. And the field across from the orchard on 188 is being developed. So we're not talking about our 200 homes in our field. You're talking about 750 homes in that neighborhood. Now, you got to consider traffic, because guess what? All that filters down to the hospital corner. There's hardly anywhere out. You go north, you're going out of town. If you're going into town, you're going in through the hospital corner, whether it's on Sheridan or it's on 188 Pleasantville Road. That's a ton of traffic. Have you ever been around that hospital corner? I think I've said my 3 minutes. Thank you. I do appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other opponents that spoke the first round want to come up and speak again? Ms. McCormick.
So I did have a couple more questions, and I'm hoping that they can get answered. The one question about the deceleration, did I say that right? The slowdown lane, which I'm assuming would be southbound on 188, that I'm assuming will cut into my corner. Is that what is that like the proposed plan right now? Southbound on 188?
Ma'am, he's not going to be able to answer your questions. You just have to address us.
Okay. Do you guys know? Does anyone know how they will do the deceleration lane?
Just let me say briefly.
Sure.
So there's State of Ohio right-of-way, because it is a
Yes.
state route, and that's a portion in the front of your house,
Yes.
all the way, across your frontage. And so it looks
They
like.
would access that? They
Yeah,
would
it looks
take
like
into that?
0.16 acres is what's in that State of Ohio right-of-way.
Yeah, so it will cut into basically my front yard,
Well,
even though the state owns it.
I was gonna say it's the state's.
I've been mowing it for 30-some years. So why aren't they mowing that?
Yeah,
Is
good
my
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't mow mine either. I don't know.
Might have to talk to them. They do put weed killer out by the fire hydrant, though.
Probably
and the
send him a bill. I don't know.
I could.
I don't know.
Pay back
Pay it.
some of this, yeah. The second question I had, and it really is legitimate, actually, too, and I don't mean this to be sarcastic if it comes across sarcastic, but do our concerns, will they affect the approval of this as tax-paying citizens and homeowners? Are you guys allowed to answer that? I didn't mean for it to be rhetorical.
I mean, technically, no, but if someone wants to answer and we can make it quick. I think, do you want me to take that one? It's hard to answer. So, yeah, I mean, me personally, and I've sat here for a while and been in a bunch of these public hearings where it's very, nobody shows up, or it's very testy. I love to use the Timber Top property. When we had that public hearing, as an example, Ms. Tina was here with me, and it was very,
It's probably very heated.
it was. I mean, I think a pig farm was thrown out there at one point, but to the point, it's hard because you have 19 people that are clearly invested in it. right? And then for us, we try and represent everybody's concerns, and then you look at the totality of the city's needs, and we hear it all the time. We're running out of space, but we need affordable homes. We need nice homes. We need, we have debates back and forth on what should it look like. Should it be 3-story apartments? Should it be single-family homes? And it's really hard because we don't own the property, and then you're asking us to tell a property owner what they can and can't do with their property. So to answer your question in short, we think about that. It really can be agonizing. You can lose sleep over it. At the end of the day, it's what's best overall for the city and its citizens, and we try and think of it that way. So that's the best I can tell you, Ms. Tiener.
But passing this tonight doesn't mean this whole thing's a done deal anyway. This is just a format to do.
One step.
But this does
so.
not mean this is going to happen.
I understand
I'm
that.
just, but still, I know it's a fear. I got it. It is.
Yeah.
Do I
Nail in
still
the
have a
coffin.
couple-
Nail in the coffin is not tonight.
No, I understand that,
All
I
right.
understand that.
All
Do
right.
I have any more time left?
Well, I took half your time, so I'll give you a little more. Go ahead.
And I appreciate that. So is there, again, my question is there another level up? But Steve, you already addressed that according to zoning, they're not already, the plan right now does not comply with that. So that's somewhat of a comfort. But would that change the medium density zoning there? Is there another zoning that would,
This goes back to Planning Commission. After, if it's zoned, right, I'll let the law director give you the.
Okay, so just to answer a few questions, you were asking if there's another less dense level up, and there is. We have what's called residential low density, and that's a 70-foot lot frontage. As Mr. Luss stated, the RMD is technically a 50-foot frontage. It's my understanding that the developer has proposed 40 feet. I wasn't at the Planning Commission. So I apologize, I don't know for sure, but they would have to come back to Planning Commission and get a special exception to, or an area variance actually, to build anything that was not in compliance with the current code.
what was the 70-foot one?
Residential low density.
Low density, okay. And so that's a possibility that it could be zoned.
So that's a 70-foot lot. We don't have a whole lot of builders in Lancaster right now. We haven't had a lot of interest in anything above a 50-foot lot for a long time. Everybody knows we've built apartments. We've built lots and lots of apartments, between the administration and the economic development director working together. We've got lots of apartments, but when it comes to single-family homes, 50 feet is what we're seeing right now, and that's the only interest that we're seeing.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the only other comment I would like to make, there's been a lot of discussion about the traffic on 188, which is what my house faces. Nothing's been talked about the road situation of Rainbow itself. If no one's ever been on Rainbow, it has a lot of hills and valleys. And if people do not abide by the speed limit, they can easily not see anybody that's oncoming on the other side of the hill. And I don't think the road is that wide as it is. So I think that really needs to be taken into consideration as well. Rainbow is not, there's no room for sidewalks, and it's not a very wide road. I'm sure it abides by code, but for that amount of traffic on Rainbow with hills and valleys. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Harris, you're the only opponent left, so.
Sorry, I feel like I have to say something.
You're fine. You have another 3 minutes if you need them.
So, like I said, my parents are beside Linda. What I think that means from what they're explaining where they will put that is my parents own the lot where their home sits on. They also own 2 other lots clear up to the point. So if I'm understanding correctly, probably one of the entrances will be at the point of their lot. And then, of course, they're almost on the corner of Rainbow and 188. So they will be completely surrounded, boxed in by this development. I hear the gentleman talk about putting up a wall of sorts. I'm not going to lie, it shatters my heart in pieces because my father still weed whacks and mows all of that. It will just create more work for him. I know that that is not a deciding factor. I do know that this is their homestead that they built years ago. It's the home I was raised in. They love it there. They are elderly, and I'm just not gonna lie. It really worries me for their safety. It worries me for them getting out of their driveway on 188 because it is extremely busy. Like to sit on their front porch, you cannot even hear each other talk. The traffic is literally going 70 miles an hour in front of their house now. And so I agree with the other gentleman. Like when it is, I don't want to say a small neighborhood because they are kind of separated from each other a little bit, but just the amount of how fast the cars go down that road right now, and then you're going to potentially add all of these other cars and all of these people. I just feel like it puts my parents who are elderly and who have lived there all these years at a risk. So not that that changes anything, but I do want to share on behalf of my parents because they would not speak if they needed to, but I know how they feel about it because they tell me. So thank you so much for listening.
Okay, so we've gone through our list of opponents. Proponents have gone twice, so that is it.
Technically, you're supposed to wrap with proponents. A proponent speaks, then an opponent, and then proponents. You gave an extra opponent, so now you got to give one more proponent. I apologize.
I gave an extra.
Yep. It should be proponent, opponent, proponent. The end. Yep. But that's
All
fine.
right.
You're accommodating.
Drew, you want to come up and give another 3 minutes?
Sorry. Those are the rules. Sorry.
Someone didn't write them down for me, and I'm just filling in.
That's me. So earlier there was mention of a couple other neighborhood developments surrounding this area. One of those, I believe, was Power Run, which I know fell out of contract, so I don't think that's going to be happening right now. But I will say our traffic engineers did sync up with the traffic engineers of those other neighborhoods, so they're combining those traffic studies to understand the really holistic picture of the traffic situation out there. So, like I said, that is in the city's court right now. We're waiting for that feedback. We're going to comply with whatever they want. If they tell us that it's a non-starter because traffic is too much of a problem out there, we'll walk away. But we're waiting on that city feedback.
Great. Thank you. Now I'm good to close. All right, we're gonna, unless anyone else has any comments from council, I'm gonna go ahead and close this public hearing. Great, thank you. I feel like I need a recess after that. All right, well, we're not doing a recess. We're gonna move right into the reading of resolutions, starting with the third reading of temporary resolution 8925.
A resolution to authorize the Service Safety Director to enter into a contract not to exceed $500,000 with the app Architecture for design and construction administration of the 80 Road Fire Station project and to declare an emergency. This is through Safety Committee, Mr. Bizjack and Ms. Teener.
Mr. Bizjack.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record the resolution temporarily numbered 89-25.
Second.
We have a first and second to pass temporary resolution 8925. Any discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. Once again, this legislation, much like what the preamble says, allows the Service Safety Director to enter into a contract not to exceed $500,000. Once again, another step in this process here of getting a new engine house 2 built on the west side on Edie Road. So this legislation is not an appropriation. That's all. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any other questions? Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes? Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop? Yes. Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Temporary resolution 8925 passes 10-0. We're going to move on to second readings of resolutions, beginning with temporary resolution 9025.
A resolution to authorize then and now certificates for the Community Development Block Grant Fund 2073, CHIP Home Program Fund 2083, and for the Healthy Homes Grant 2026, year-end 2025 project expenditures. This is through Economic Development Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mr. Wing.
Mrs. Hoop?
Thank you. This is second of three readings.
Second of three readings on temporary resolution 9025. Temporary resolution 9125.
A resolution to authorize the City of Lancaster Auditor to request an advance of funds from the Fairfield County Auditor for the city's apportionment of tax settlements for 2026. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
It's the second of three readings, please. That was weird.
That was
That's
weird.
me, right? All right, temporary resolution 9225.
A resolution to authorize the Service Safety Director to dispense with competitive bidding due to a sole source provider and enter into a contract for the city's enterprise asset and work management software and to declare an emergency. This is through Administrative Services Committee, Mr. Luchtenberg and Mr. Bizjack.
Mr. Luchtenberg.
Second of three readings.
Second of three readings on temporary resolution 9225. Temporary resolution 9325.
A resolution to appropriate from the unencumbered balance and amend the certificate of appropriations with the county auditor in the Income Tax Fund 2016. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Sully.
And that's going to be second of three readings, please. Temporary resolution 9425.
A resolution to increase receipts, appropriate from the unencumbered balance, and amend the certificate of other sources and appropriations with the county auditor in the Hotel Motel Fund 8055. This is again through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
This will also be the second of three readings. Temporary resolution 9525.
A resolution to amend appropriation budgets and then amend the certificate of other sources and appropriations with the county auditor and to declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Sully.
And this one will also be the second of three readings. So we're going to move on to first readings of new resolutions, starting with temporary resolution 9625.
A resolution to authorize the Service Safety Director to enter into a contract with the Rodandas for general engineering services. This is through Water Pollution Control Committee, Mr. Wing and Ms. Teener.
Mr. Wing.
Yes, this is the first of two readings.
The first of two readings on temporary resolution 9625. Temporary resolution 9725.
A resolution to authorize the mayor on behalf of the city of Lancaster, Ohio, to participate in aqueous film forming foams products liability litigation against 3M and DuPont and to declare an emergency. This is through Law Committee, Ms. Kreitz and Mr. Bizjack.
Mrs. Kreitz.
Yes, thank you. I would like to make a motion that council suspend its rules and waive the second and third reading of resolution temporarily numbered 97-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the second and third readings. Any discussion?
Yes, thank you. Just briefly, from the Finance Committee meeting, this is to allow the city to join a multi-district litigation action. The city has determined that it does qualify as a plaintiff, and the deadline to apply for settlement funds is January 1st. But because of the length of time that it's anticipated to take for the application process, we'd like to have suspension on that. There are no fees to the city other than the testing that was needed to determine if we're plaintiffs, because the fees come out of the settlement funds.
Great. Any other discussions on the motion to suspend? Seeing none, please call a roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing.
Yes.
Motion to suspend carries 10-0. Mrs. Kreitz.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record resolution temporarily numbered 97-25.
Second.
A motion and a second to pass Resolution 9725. Any other discussion?
Nothing further, thank you.
Any other discussion from council? And call the roll, please.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Temporary Resolution 9725 passes 10-0. Temporary Resolution 9825.
A resolution to authorize the Service Safety Director to enter into a contract with the Renaissance Counseling and Consultation to provide professional mental health counseling services to the City of Lancaster employees and their dependents and to declare an emergency. Mr. Administrative Service Committee, Mr. Leuchtenberg, and Mr. Bizjack.
Mr. Leuchtenberg.
First of two readings.
First of two readings on Temporary Resolution 9825. Temporary Resolution 9925.
A resolution to amend Community Reinvestment Area 3, CRA 3, as enacted pursuant to Permanent Resolution Number 71-19 and a previously amended by Permanent Resolution 59-23, and to declare an emergency. This is through Economic Development Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mrs. Kreitz.
Mrs. Hoop.
Yes, I would like to make a motion that council suspend its rules and waive the second and third reading of temporary resolution 99-25.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and waive the second and third readings of 9925. Discussion?
No.
No? Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to suspend passes 10-0. Mrs. Hoop.
I would like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 99-25.
Second?
A motion and a second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 9925. Any discussion?
No, we talked about this in finance. It's just to include the annexed areas into the CRA.
Great. Any other questions? Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Temporary resolution 9925 passes 10-0. Temporary resolution 100-25.
A resolution to authorize the Service Safety Director and the City Engineer to apply for the Transportation Alternatives Program grant through the Ohio Department of Transportation for the Memorial Piers Pedestrian Improvement Project and to declare an emergency. This is through Public Works Committee, Ms. Teener and Mr. Leuchtenberg.
Ms. Teener.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council suspend its rules and waive the second and third readings of temporary resolution 100-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the second and third readings on temporary resolution 125. Any discussion, Ms. Teener?
Not this time.
Any other discussion on the motion to suspend? Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to suspend passes 10-0. Ms. Teener.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 100-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass temporary resolution 125. Any discussion?
Yes, this is so we can apply for a grant for the memorial pedestrian area. It's a construction grant, and it would, if awarded, it would be an 80-20 match. We'd pay the 20%, but we have to have it applied for by the 30th of November.
Any other discussion on the motion to pass? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bishak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion carries 10-0. That is the end of resolutions this evening. We are going to move on to ordinances. I'll wait till we get there.
Okay.
All right. Temporary ordinance 5725.
An ordinance to establish a compensation for the city treasurer for the term commencing payroll 1/2026 and to declare an emergency. It's through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
That is me, and I'm going to make a motion that we table temporary ordinance 5725.
Second.
And that is non-debatable, so we will call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bishak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
I'm sorry, yes. Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
All right, motion to table passes 10-0. Temporary ordinance 5825.
An ordinance to adopt and enact the City of Lancaster cybersecurity program pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 9, miscellaneous Section 9.64, political subdivision cybersecurity. This is through Law Committee, Mrs. Kreitz and Mr. Bishak.
Mrs. Kreitz.
Yes, thank you. I would like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record ordinance temporarily numbered 58-25.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to pass temporary ordinance 5825. Any discussion?
Just briefly, this legislation helps the city maintain compliance with a new requirement passed by the state requiring a cybersecurity program by January 1st, 2026. Our IT department has drafted that up. And just as a note, the cybersecurity program and related records are not considered part of Ohio public law,
Great.
public records law.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bishak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Temporary ordinance 5825 passes 10-0. Temporary ordinance 5925.
An ordinance to amend the City of Lancaster's zoning map to change the zoning of 35.506 plus or minus acres identified as Fairfield County Auditor Tax Parcel Number 05341625500 from Planned Unit Development District to Residential Medium Density District. This is through Code Enforcement and Zoning Committee, Mr. Sully and Mrs. Hoop.
Mr. Solly.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass and engross and enter upon the written record ordinance temporarily numbered 5925.
I second.
Was that a second? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a motion and second to pass temporary ordinance 5925. Discussion.
Just want to make real clear, I know we covered this multiple times earlier, but tonight this is just for zoning. This is actually, this legislation, in my opinion, is cleaning up something that was missed previously. By no means are we approving a final plat, and there's a lot of steps that are still going to have to be, that a developer's going to have to go through. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that's what we're voting on here tonight.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
No.
Mr. Bishak?
Yes.
Hold on, here we go. Mr. Carr?
No.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
No.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
No.
and Mr. Wing.
Yes.
You're gonna have to math that one out for me. All right, motion to pass temporary ordinance 5925 passes 6-4. Temporary ordinance 6025.
An ordinance to amend the Lancaster Codified Ordinance, Part 11, Planning and Zoning, Title 3, Zoning and Property Restrictions, and to adopt Chapter 113, Short-Term Rentals. Code Enforcement, this is through Code Enforcement and Zoning Committee, Mr. Sully and Mr. Leuchtenberg.
Mr. Sully.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass and engross and enter upon the written record ordinance temporarily numbered 6025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass temporary ordinance 6025. Discussion?
Not at this time.
No? Any other discussion on 6025? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizchak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing.
Yes.
Motion to pass temporary ordinance 6025 does pass 10-0. Temporary ordinance, hold on a second. Benefits, we're going to go through 65.
66. It's the last one.
Yep. All right, I'm going to have the clerk read the preamble to temporary ordinance 6125 through 6625. Those are all of the pay ordinances that we discussed before, and then we'll make a motion to table. So-
Real quickly, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do a motion to replace temporary ordinance 6225 with 6225 star and then put it on the table so that it was already done?
Yep.
Was that the,
Yeah, you're right.
okay.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Well, let's do,
What is it?
can we skip 62 in that bunch, or do you?
If somebody makes a motion to go out of order and everybody approves it, then yes.
I move that we go out of order, Mr. President.
I'll second.
Motion
Yeas or
and a
nays?
second.
Just yeas and nays. All in favor, say aye.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
All opposed, same sign.
You can come over here and sit. You're making it difficult and, oh, are you taking me to dinner this evening? All right. Okay, so now we're out of the regular order of business and we can read temporary ordinance 6225.
An ordinance to establish benefits, titles, and compensation for those employees who are not members of the recognized bargaining units employed by the city of Lancaster, Ohio for the year 2026 and to declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
All right, I would like to make a motion that we replace 6225 with 6225 stars given to the clerk before tonight's meeting.
Second.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. Any discussion? That one we had a couple meetings ago, right? Or we changed a couple pieces on one of the position steps, right?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, we had the utilities position that we needed to remove because I missed that one. And then we had one other range that we adjusted in the municipal gas.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I will ask to call the roll, please.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizchak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to replace carries 10-0. Okay. Now the clerk will read 6125 through 6625.
Okay.
And you can take a break in between.
6125, an ordinance to establish the benefits, titles, and compensation for the management and professional personnel employed by the city of Lancaster for the year 2026 and to declare an emergency. Through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover, Mr. Ailes. Ordinance temporary 62-25 star, an ordinance to establish benefits, titles, and compensation for those employees who are not members of the recognized bargaining units employed by the city of Lancaster, Ohio for the year 2026 and to declare an emergency. Again, through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover, Mr. Ailes. Ordinance temporary 63-25, an ordinance to establish the benefits, titles, and compensation for seasonal interns to be employed by the city of Lancaster during the summer of 2026 and to declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Sully. Ordinance temporary 64-25, an ordinance to establish the benefits and titles and compensation for the Information Technology Administrator, Office of the Clerk of Court, employed by the city of Lancaster, Ohio, commencing the first pay period of 2026 and to declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Sully. Ordinance temporary 65-25, an ordinance to establish the benefits, titles, and compensation for the Fairfield County Municipal Court management and professional personnel employed by the city of Lancaster, Ohio for year 2026 and to declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Sully. And finally, an ordinance to establish benefits, titles, and compensation for the Fairfield County Municipal Court judicial and probational personnel employed by the city of Lancaster Ohio for the year 2026 and to declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover, Mr. Sully.
Good job. I'm going to make a motion that council place on the table temporary ordinances 6125 through 6625.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Again, those are pay ordinances. We will wait to take up for passage next meeting after we discuss the budget.
Not debatable.
It's non-debatable.
What am I reading?
I don't know. Please call the roll.
Yeah, call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
God bless you.
Motion carries 10-0.
Have it.
Temporary ordinance 6725.
An ordinance providing the issuance and sale of revenue notes in the aggregate principal amount of $1,424.07 to pay cost of improving Edie Road, Memorial Drive, and Michaels Way by grading, widening, paving, curbing, and improving bridges and railroad crossings, relocating utilities and installing sidewalks, traffic signals and signs, and water, sanitary, and stormwater lines and facilities, together with all necessary appurtenances thereto, and declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
I'd like to make a motion that council pass and gross and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 6725.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass. I don't have any discussion. Anyone else have any discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion carries 10-0. Temporary ordinance 6825.
An ordinance providing the issuance and sale of a revenue note in the aggregate principal amount of $186,577.58 to reimburse Flagstar Bank, N.A. for a draw on the letter of credit in connection with cost of improving Edie Road, Memorial Drive, and Michaels Way by grading, widening, paving, curbing, and improving bridges and railroad crossings, relocating utilities and installing sidewalks, traffic signals and signs, and water, sanitary, and stormwater lines and facilities, together with all necessary appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
And I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 6825.
Second.
A motion and a second to pass. Any discussion? Seeing none, please call a roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion carries 10-0. Moving on to second reading of ordinances, beginning with temporary ordinance 6925.
An ordinance to grant to South Central Power Company its successors and assigns a franchise for the right to acquire, construct, maintain, and operate in the streets, thoroughfares, alleys, hopefully I said that right, alleys, bridges, and public places of the city of Lancaster, Ohio, lines for the transmission and distribution of electric power and energy to the city and the inhabitants thereof, for light, heat, power, and other purposes, and for the transmission of the same within, through or across said city and to declare an emergency. This is through Law Committee, Mr. Bizjack and Mr. Schoonover.
Mr. Bizjack.
Thank you, Mr. President. This will be the second of three readings.
Second of three readings on temporary ordinance 6925. Moving on to first reading of ordinances with temporary ordinance 7025.
An emergency ordinance creating an incentive district and declaring improvements to certain real property within the incentive district to be a public purpose and exempt from real property taxation, identifying certain public infrastructure improvements that once made will benefit or serve the parcels in the incentive district, requiring the owners of those parcels to make service payments in lieu of taxes, authorizing the city to require minimum service payments if such payments are agreed upon by developer, establishing an incentive district public improvement tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of such service payments, and as applicable, minimum service payments, authorizing payments to the Lancaster City School District, and approving related matters. Mr. Economic Development Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mr. Wing.
Mrs. Hoop.
This is first of two readings.
First of two readings on temporary ordinance 7025. That's the last on my list of ordinances. Do we have any additional to come before us? Seeing none, we move on to tabled legislation. As we discussed before, we're not going to do anything with those this evening. It's the budget and one of the other pay ordinances. So we'll leave those. Do we have any unfinished business? Seeing none, do we have any new business? Mrs. Kreitz.
Thank you. Just briefly, the Law Committee last met on November 7th, at which time we reviewed and discussed some proposed updates to the council rules, which included some updated language, clarifications, as well as one item that we were unable to really move forward on until we had some guidance from the greater council. So the Law Committee members discussed concerns over the current committee structure, specifically the fact that we have 10 members of council and only 9 committees, which leaves 1 member without a committee to chair. So based upon that, we tried to come up with additional options and asked the law director to draft those up so that we could take a look at those and then have city council kind of give us some options on guidance on how you would like for the Law Committee to move forward. And Law Director Hall, is there anything that you would like or you think I should add to that before kicking it over for discussion?
No, I'll just say I provided 3 handouts. And the first is the standing committee options that the Law Committee asked me to draft. in doing that, the thought was originally, especially on the part of the administration, that we would like to see fewer committee meetings. And so, or I'm sorry, option one is 10 committees so that everybody has a committee. But the general feeling was at the meeting that everybody would like to consolidate it into 5 meetings. And so that's what options 2 and 3 and then 4 and 5 are. At the meeting, it was debated whether if there were 5 committees, it should be a chair, co-chair situation, or a chair, excuse me, vice chair situation. So that's why you have 2 options for each of those second tables there. And then I provided the city's org chart just so that you could kind of think about whether or not, these classifications make sense to you. Again, this was just me, spitballing it based on the direction that I received from Law Committee. And then the final piece of paper is a table that has I put down 10 members, and then I looked at how many committees each of you would have to serve on if there were 10 committees versus how many committees each of you would have to serve on if there were 5 committees. And if there are 10 committees, then each of you would serve on 3 different committees because we have to have 3 people per committee at least. But if there were 5 committees, each of you would serve on 6 committees apiece. And so just wanted to make it clear, that's why I provided those handouts.
And then just to add, because we don't have a special law committee meeting, and we wanted to have this before council before the end of the year, that's why we haven't scheduled anything additional, and we wanted to talk about it during new business tonight. So I wanted to open it up for discussion. As Law Director Hall said, she has summarized the options that the committee discussed on that sheet with the standing committee options. Just wanted to open it up and see if anybody had anything they wanted to chat through. Any thoughts? Any thoughts on increasing to 10 committees versus 5 committees? We chatted about different options, right? More council member involvement in a smaller structure of committees helps with that transparency as well as for administrative attendance in meetings and public attendance in meetings as well. But then again, 10 meetings, everyone gets one to chair.
Yeah, and I'll add in there, so we had 10 committees at one time, and then we shrunk them down, right? Since I've been sitting up here. This term, we changed it up. We didn't want to create an additional committee because we felt like we consolidated the last time for good reason, because we had a committee that was basically, I think, parks.
When I first got on, there was 9 committees and I was on the parks, and we really didn't need a parks per se committee with council because that was all it was. So then we put it with service, finally, with gas and all that. That's how that happened.
So we made minor tweaks and went down, to do that. And then like this term, I didn't, as pro tem, I didn't have a chair. I was on 4 different committees. And then of course it worked out when Mr. Wolfinger resigned. It just made it easier for me to slide into that. Now we have a different situation, so that's why the conversation kind of came up. And I mean, I don't know. So we've always kind of been rotated. It's up to the pro tem to decide who, which council member sits on which committee and things like that. But and then it's really up to individual council members. Like, you're attending the ones that the committees you're assigned to, but how many, do you go to any of the other ones? Do you know what's going on in the other committees? So I think that was kind of the discussion on, do we drop it down to 5? Yes, it's less meetings for the administration, but council members are, I don't want to say forced, but you're going to be going to more committee meetings. So that was kind of, I guess, the idea on that when we were having that conversation. It does create more meetings for us, but most of these committees meet every other month. So, I think, were we wanting action on this or just an open, like, hey, that sounds good, that doesn't sound good? It's kind of awkward because
We haven't done it.
we're deciding it for the next term. So I don't know.
It's not really deciding, right? It is just giving the law committee guidance on what the larger, or I guess what more people on council would like to see before we bring something to council for you to consider and vote on. I think I'd also like to add, One of the benefits, I think, personally, of having these smaller committees is when I first came to council, I had no idea, right? I had no idea how to run my committee. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. And having a chair, co-chair, or a chair and vice chair helps those new members with those senior members, bringing them along and mentoring and helping them understand the process and what they should be doing. Just my 2 cents.
So I just have a question. So like utilities, public works, you would have all these departments together in a meeting? Is that what you mean? I mean, it's kind of
Utilities.
like, let's say utilities, public works, you got gas, utilities, collection, sanitation, water, all that. Is that going to be all in one meeting? What do you?
That's one of the options.
Because I mean, there's some that probably need to not meet as much. That's why I mean, honestly, this other, I mean, that's up to you guys. I mean, but I'm just saying, because there's some that need to really meet more than, like what is it? Some committees meet, 4 times a year? You know, and I mean, some of these, I mean, there's a lot of work that's done. So Michael can tell you and Larry can tell you, I mean, with the water thing, I mean, they're constantly doing something. It's to keep up on it and to be updated. So I'm just putting that out there.
I mean, I would agree I think some of them where you have very little action, I mean, yeah, you try and group them together as best as you can, but I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's as perfect as it gets, yeah.
I guess we would ask, first of all, right, what's council's appetite for reducing it or increasing it?
I like, for what it's worth, I think that it's been helpful to go to other committees that you're not chairing, because you do get a feel for how things work, and especially if you're new, and we have a lot of new people on. So as far as, like, I'm looking at the enterprise fund on option 4 and 5, wouldn't they all have to come if you met more frequently? Could you just call certain people? I don't know if.
So you're like 2 departments come this month and the other 2 departments come the following?
Or just certain months.
Something like that?
You know.
As long as you
Curtis-
published your agenda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're the chair, you can decide.
Like, I'm thinking the gas
That's what I
department,
was
you don't
gonna
have to
say.
see as often.
I would imagine it's at the pleasure of the chair of who comes at the end of the day, just as, once again, to Law Director Hall's point, you publish everything 24 hours in
Yeah.
advance.
But I like the 5.
Yeah.
I like
'Cause
that
the
we're more
chair-
involved in more.
Right. So the chair and the vice chair could decide, okay, how often are we meeting? We also can decide what time the meetings are, so. I personally, I like the 5 because it kind of forces the issue of, I've said it before in front of everyone, like, hey, if you're not on a committee and you're not going to those other committee meetings, you are basically trusting that all the other council members, when they're bringing legislation, they're describing it, they know what they're talking about, so, which you would hope that that's the case. And then, if someone doesn't like a particular piece and you're hoping that it gets to the floor in one piece, I think it does lead to a little more participation. I know it makes it hard for some people's schedules to make certain meetings, but then again, that's a discussion like, hey, when are you going to schedule them and those things. So that's kind of a little further down the road. But me personally, I like the shrinking it to 5 to consolidate it to kind of give all of us a little more buy-in on different committees.
If I may say, Mr. President, as well, I share that same sentiment. I'm personally partial to option number 3. I think it's, clear delineation in terms of chairs and vice chairs and all that good stuff. So, yeah, but I like the option of a smaller amount of committees.
Any other thoughts?
I agree with that as well.
Okay, Michael?
Yeah. I don't mind consolidating. I won't be here next year, so depends what you guys want to do, I guess. But I would just warn everyone, just be careful of how you handle the water. Like Ms. Teener said, there's always a lot going on.
What did you say? Economic development meets 4 times a year? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we don't meet that often.
Well, that's shocking. as much growth is going on, economic development only meets 4 times a year with zoning and with planning commission and, all this going on.
It's
4
hard to
times a
control.
year. That's
It's hard to
not
control
enough.
when it happens, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's kind of,
All right, so that's up to
but that's up to you guys,
up
but
to
I'm just
the
saying.
chairs later. Well, and then I would say for the new council members, whether they're here or they're watching, I think we need to I think it'd be fair to get a little feedback from them, which we'll try and make sure that we reach out before we definitely bring something forward.
Will that be you?
I can do that, or I'll have President Porter do that. Either way. No, I can do that. So there's 2 of them sitting here, so we can always talk after the meeting, or if it's too late, we can talk later. 3? I didn't even see Amy. She back there. She's hiding. Okay, there you are. Okay, so yeah, we'll reach out. We'll kind of figure that out too. Go ahead.
Just to put it out there for council people, if you do this job the way you're supposed to do it, you take your phone calls, you do this, it's just not we're going to come and we're going to read our legislation the day before. You need to keep up on stuff. It's a lot more than what people think it is. So I think you guys need to have meetings. I just think it's going to be a cluster because you need to know what's going on. And, that's part of what you ran for, to have committee meetings, to be with your constituents, to have meetings, even if it's a one-on-one with administration. You need to do your job, and that's all I got to say.
Okay, perfect. So nothing has been expedited this evening, I feel like, so, yeah, thanks. I'm just gonna go around. We're not.
Okay.
I'm
You
just-
can take a vote if you want to, or you don't have to take a vote. I'm just saying I can't finish the rules until I have
We're just gonna, so I'm just gonna ask everyone kind of like if you had to blurt it out right now, Mr. Solly, what's your option number?
Let's see here, that was number 3.
Mr. Bizjack?
Also option number 3.
Yeah.
3. 1.
3.
Kind of jamming on 3 myself. Ms. Tina?
1.
1?
1.
Mr. Carr?
Being the new guy, I would 3 is where I'm leaning.
Okay.
Looking out for my friends at Water, I'm going to say 5.
All right, Ms. Hoop?
I just like the smaller, I don't know, I can't without, I'd have to sit at home and look. I don't know. I have no opinion, but,
Okay.
I mean, I do, but not
So
between
you're
those
at
two. I don't
least,
know.
you're at least not number 1.
No, not one, but
Okay.
the other two, I don't know.
All right, so we'll get with the others, and then we'll have another discussion, and then we'll figure out how to bring it forward.
I would have to understand what the role of a vice chair is, because what you're saying, you have 10 committees, you have 10 council people that chair committees. If you have 5 committees, you have 5 chairs and 5 vice chairs.
Right.
Who wants to be a vice chair? I like chairing a committee. It's my committee.
That's your
First thing I did when I took
responsibility
over the
as a-
service committee
yes.
was to ask the people involved in the service committee, do you want to meet every month? Do you want to meet? And they said, no, we don't. We want to meet once a quarter. So that's what we did.
Right.
So it's going to be hard for me to sit and shut up as vice chair of any committee. So if that is the role,
Well, I think,
I can't do it.
yeah, I think that lends to, we won't make you a vice chair.
Okay.
That was going to be my
I
suggestion.
mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so one person, it's like, when you're in a.
That's not a hill I'm willing to die on,
It's
Larry.
kind of like when you're in college and you have a group of 4 people and one person does the work for everybody, kind of like that.
I'm also the only person on council that's retired, so I don't really care. I'll show up
Yeah.
where I need to show up,
Ditto.
when I need to show up. But
That's
I
fair.
feel that if the responsibility of chairing a committee is a big deal.
And you should
Right.
chair.
Okay. All right, so we'll circle back around to that. Just not right now.
So now we're going to have a lazy cat.
All right, any additional new business? Seeing, I wouldn't say that, but, all right, let's go with the announcement of scheduled meetings, please.
We have December 1st of the next regular scheduled sessions of council, December 1st, 2025 at 6:30 PM, council chambers, and December 15th, 2025 at 6:30 here in council chambers.
Thank you. And no special meetings scheduled. How about regular scheduled committee meetings, please?
I have 4 of them. I have Code Enforcement Committee, November 20th at 7:30 a.m., City Hall 1897 Conference Room. Safety Committee was on December 5th,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President, Madam Clerk. Just want to confirm for the record, after discussing with committee members in the administration, Safety Committee on December 5th is hereby canceled. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
I have Service Committee, December 12th at 8 a.m. at City Hall 1897 Conference Room. And then finally, Water Pollution Committee, December 15th at 7:30 a.m. City Hall 1897 Conference Room.
Reading the bills, please.
I have 2 of them for MNCO for $102.70 for publication of ordinances. And I have one for $68.21 for public notice for short-term rentals.
Mr. President, I make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
A motion and a second to pay the bills. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. No executive session needed. I would like to accept a motion that we adjourn.
Oh, I do.
What?
I did forget.
There's
I have
a
a
liquor
liquor
license. I
license
remember
for
the liquor
Sweeney's Pub.
license.
I have a liquor license for Sweeney's Pub. That was under new business, and I do apologize. We got sidetracked.
So do I make a motion? Or do we wait?
Move to go out of order and return to new business?
Sure, sounds good.
All right.
Man, I feel
Second.
like
I
we
need a
never went
second.
back in
Second.
order last time.
Second.
Solly seconds.
Okay. Jack, I do apologize. Yeah. I did receive something back from Nick Snyder, Chief Snyder, and there were several calls on there. But Ms. Hall, do you have anything that you would like to add on Sweeney's?
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is a transfer of ownership from one entity to another. Typically, the Department of Commerce is supposed to send more in-depth background check information to the police department. I don't believe that Chief Snyder has received that yet, or if he has, he hasn't forwarded it on. And typically, he'll forward it on as soon as he has it. So I don't know anything about who is going to take over that that liquor permit. What I will say is Chief Snyder indicated that he didn't believe that they had more calls than your normal bar, and that excludes establishments that sell both food and alcohol. But he did say that there have been more this year recently than there have in years past. So he saw some kind of trend upward. If you all would like to wait until the next meeting to see if we can get that ownership information, the background information, then I absolutely understand. If you want to go ahead and approve it now, that's up to you too. It's your choice.
This is due 12/4 of 2025.
Yep. So it just has to be postmarked by 12/4. And you'll meet again on 12/1.
Yes. So we'll have one more meeting if you guys want to.
I say we wait. I think that's the prudent thing to do.
All right, so you guys want to wait on taking any action on that?
Yes.
Okay. We will wait until next meeting. Now, that motion.
I move to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
We're using Becky, sorry. You can second, because unless Larry.
Yeah, I'll second.
That's not a hill I'm dying on either. All right, so, all right, we're adjourned. It's 8:29. Thank you very much, and please sign all your legislation.